The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Out here, there's no one way of doing things. No unwritten rules, and no shortage of adventure. Because out here, the only requirement is having fun. Bank of America invites kids 6 to 18 to golf with us. For a limited time, sign them up for a free 1-year membership, giving them access to discounted tee times at thousands of courses. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/golf with us. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Restrictions apply. See BofA.com/golf with us for complete details. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
The Eagles bring in another safety for a pre-draft workout. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, right here on the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can also find me hosting Trending in the AM Monday through Friday live at 8 a.m. for 90 minutes of sports talk. I got today's episode linked below. I'd greatly appreciate you guys clicking subscribe and checking it out. It's a great show where you bring your opinions on these topics and more to the table. The show is driven by you guys, the fans. So bring what you got, ask the questions, bring your opinions. They do matter, unlike what some sports talk personalities across the board think. And guys, it is Wednesday, the 23rd of April, and we are just over 24 hours from the first round of the NFL draft beginning. I will also be hosting a draft show on the STT Sports Network. And the Eagles have brought in another very interesting safety candidate for a top draft pick visit, one of the top 30s by my count. They brought in 29 of the 30 potential prospects for visits. Penn State safety Kevin Winston Jr., a 6'1", 215-pound safety, projected potentially to go about the second round, was brought in for a visit. That brings the total to 4 safeties brought in, 2 of which happen to play for Penn State. This is an interesting visit, an interesting use of one of your 30 visits for the Eagles, considering how much Howie values these visits, not just for the draft, but for future off seasons. Kevin Winston is a guy in 2023 that led Penn State in tackles, but he only played in 3 games in 2024 because of an injury, partial ACL tear. There's a lot of reports that expected him to be a first-round talent before the injury. And so that's very interesting to me because few years back, actually more than a few years back, Howie Roseman used one of those draft picks in the second round on Sidney Jones, a guy coming off a major injury his last year in college. Didn't work out, but it's that boom, bust, risk, reward kind of scenario where I didn't question that move back then. So I'm thinking you're getting a first-round talent in the second round. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you don't. If anybody follows my content, broader picture than just this show, I never fault a general manager or a team making a big swing for the fences move. And if Kevin Winston is really a first-round talent that's falling to the second round because of his injury, I don't know why you wouldn't take that chance if he's there in the middle, late second round. Now, I don't know if he'll fall that far. The Eagles might have to trade up, or if they trade out of the first round, that early second-round pick. you guys know I'm a big believer that safety is a much bigger need than the Eagles, that most Eagles fans feel. That safety right now with Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship is not a deep enough position, and that they need to address it with somebody that could step in and play immediately. And when you look at it, 29, visits of the top 30 visits that you're allowed, 4 of them were safety, tied with an interior offensive line and offensive tackle for the third most brought in position. Defensive tackle, 6 people have been brought in. Cornerback, 5. Safety, interior offensive line, and offensive tackle 4 times. Only 3 edge rushers have been brought in, which is something interesting we're going to talk about in a second. 2 running backs, 1 linebacker, no tight ends, no wide receivers, no quarterbacks, obviously only the 1 linebacker. And it kind of tells you where Howie's thinking is, where Howie feels the need. Obviously, he thinks Milton Williams and replacing him is a very, very major need. Also considering we don't know what's going to happen with the Jordan Davis contract situation. The fact that he hasn't brought in any tight end tells me that there's a good chance we might go this draft without drafting a tight end. I know every mock draft and every person out there that puts out content, including on this Pinpull Podcast Network, is mocking Eagles to draft the tight end. They still got Dallas Goedert's situation to address, but they obviously have Grant Calcaterra, who they've invested a lot of time in developing. They've brought in Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson for depth positions. I'm going to give you a name to keep an eye out for. Adam Schefter, we talked about it yesterday, reported that to expect the Eagles to make a trade during the draft for an established player. Now, that does not mean a 30-year-old edge rusher like T.J. Watt or Trey Hendrickson. It doesn't mean, big names. It doesn't mean a first-round pick traded for a player. But Raiders tight end Michael Mayer, 6'4", 265 pounds, only 23 years old, only 2 years into his rookie contract, his 4-year rookie contract. Obviously, is out of the rotation in Las Vegas with the Raiders because of Brock Bowers. Michael Mayer is a guy that you could see them making a trade at some point in the first, second, third round with. It's not going to cost you a heck of a lot to get him. Might be something you see the Eagles do. A guy that, has just under 50 catches and under 500 yards receiving in his 2 years. But obviously last year, with Brock Bauer, setting records for rookies and tight ends, he's not in the rotation there. So that could be a part of the tight end thing where they add a tight end this weekend, but not in the drafts per se. And the fact that they've brought in 0 tight ends to work out this offseason kind of helps, explain that a little bit more. Some other news and notes really quickly. Derek Harmon's a one that I keep seeing people talk about. And Ed Kratz, Sports Illustrated, brought it up, how he might be able to fall down the board. Now, he has not been reported as a top 30 visit, but supposedly in the last couple of days, a medical red flag has popped up. They haven't described it in detail. But Ed Kratz has said that Derek Harmon's a name that the Eagles would, in theory, look at if he fell, kind of like how Nakobe Dean fell all the way to the third round. And then Daniel Jeremiah has brought up, and we all know how great he is with his mock drafts and his insider knowledge, has talked about, in a piece recently about how while all the other GMs are zigging, Howie's zagging, and Jalen Walker, an edge/outside linebacker / could play a little inside too from Georgia, is another name to watch as he could potentially fall down the board to a position where Howie, who has very openly said about how he is very aggressive and it's in his DNA to be aggressive, is another name you could see the Eagles trading up to get. 2 other little side pieces here to cover. Well, 1 other side piece to cover, really. Jalen Hurts, it was reported his Men's Health magazine article came out, and just you want to congratulate him. Not only did he get a Super Bowl ring, he got a wedding ring. He is now officially married to his longtime girlfriend, Bree Burrows. So that's a very major congratulations to my man, our quarterback, Jalen Hurts, for tying the knot. And if you haven't seen it, there was a very, very hilarious video on Eagles social media of Howie Roseman asking fan questions. And I just want to compliment Howie Roseman on how his personality has evolved over the years. Howie Roseman, was a very shy, unconfident person early in his career before he went to the broom closet, thanks to Chip Kelly. Now the new Howie Roseman over the last couple of years that we've developed is a very confident, very outspoken, very entertaining personality, along with being a great GM, one of the best in football. So I love to see his personality come out and shine now, and how confident he is in his personality. Anyway, tomorrow, final show before the draft. Tomorrow, I will give you my predictions on what will happen this weekend with the draft, my predictions and also my wants. So stay tuned for that. And guys, make sure you're following along the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, the STT Sports Network. Today's episode linked down below, guys. Everybody have a great Wednesday. Go Birds, and bubbles up.
This episode is brought to you by Walmart. New beauty is in bloom at Walmart, and it's all about springtime radiance. From Drybar, Tula Skincare, and hundreds more available online, Walmart has the premium brands you want and this season's on-trend products for flawless, glossy hair and hydrated skin. Big name beauty brands? Check. The things you love? Check. Find trending spring beauty and all you need to look and feel gorgeous at Walmart, on app and online.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Spring is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for mom? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
You know they have Marc Jacobs? Gotta show mom some love.
That is so good.
Snag amazing deals on Mother's Day gifts from Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.